just a gentleman trying to find love on a Mormon dating app. I wish him luck. And our bipolar beauty, Bree Powers.
No, I'm not okay.
Don't say her name all the way through. She will appear and key your car. We're going to start it out with these two lovebirds date, how it went, and then we're going to go into some more of the crazy antics that somebody did. Bree and DJ meet on a Mormon dating app. They get together, they link up, and I guess it went pretty poorly because what Bree did was record Chief here. Get into his car, berating him, calling him ugly, all the mean words, saying that he stiffed her, oh, cheapo, and that didn't want to pay for some teeth whitening that he was going to get done with her anyway. So what did she do as a reasonable young lady? Well, she took that video of her screaming at the chief and put it up all over the internet, and then went on a whole bunch of Facebook and social media accounts trying to say that he was a creeper, and then tear down the business that he started, and then make everybody hate him and make up more lies. So, what I'm here to do, Bree, is to set the record straight, because if you come for one of us, you come for all of us. You crazy. I've seen too many soldiers' lives ruined by a job frauds of her. Oh, cheapo. It was for Bree and key your car. We're going to start it out with these two lovebirds date, how it went, and then we're going to go into some more of the crazy antics that somebody did. Bree and DJ meet on a Mormon dating app. They get together, they link up, and I guess it went pretty poorly because what Bree did was record Chief here. Get into his car, berating him, calling him ugly, all the mean words, saying that he stiffed her, oh, cheapo, and that didn't want to pay for some teeth whitening that he was going to get done with her anyway. So what did she do as a reasonable young lady? Well, she took that video of her screaming at the chief and put it up all over the internet, and then went on a whole bunch of Facebook and social media accounts trying to say that he was a creeper, and then tear down the business that he started, and then make everybody hate him and make up more lies. So, what I'm here to do, Bree, is to set the record straight, because if you come for one of us, you come for all of us. You crazy. I've seen too many soldiers' lives ruined by a nut job fraud. It's time we stood up for one another. Gentlemen, this is our story. So quick recap. Yeah, DJ and Bree meet on the Mormon version of Farmers Only. DJ kicks off the conversation with saying, hey, you're a teeth whitener. I could use my teeth whitened. You free today? I get out of work at 1600. How about I stop over your shop, you whiten my teeth, and then if we like each other, we'll go on a date and continue hanging out for the rest of the night. By the way, I am coming from my military job, so I will be uniformed. Do you have a bathroom to change in? Bree's first response is, I'm getting evicted and I need $2,500. Ooh! Red flag! Chief! And Chief did say in his response video that, yeah, that was kind of a red flag. But she is fairly hot.
I'm getting evicted, and I have $2,000 of rent to pay. That's a red flag. So I'm just trying to get my foot in the door for a nice date with a beautiful woman.
And if you look at Bree's Instagram accounts, one of the many that she has created, yeah, little hottie, bumble hottie. You know, a lot of work done. But hey, people are into that, I guess. So Chief gets out of work. He says, hey, is there a place to park? Bree acts like a crazy person and is like, park on the street. Chief gets the location, can't find parking. Texts Bree again. Hey, what's up with the parking? It's kind of weird. I'm just going to park in the spot. Bree, once again, flips out. Can't park there. Park on the street. Like a horrible gremlin. And when Chief rolls up in his handsome uniform, looking tall, light, and handsome, opens once his body. A lot of work done. But hey, people are into that, I guess. So Chief gets out of work. He says, hey, is there a place to park? Bree acts like a crazy person and is like, park on the street. Chief gets the location, can't find parking. Texts Bree again. Hey, what's up with the parking? It's kind of weird. I'm just going to park in the spot. Bree, once again, flips out. Can't park there. Park on the street. Like a horrible gremlin. And when Chief rolls up in his handsome uniform, looking tall, light, and handsome, opens up the door to Bree's Boutique, where she does teeth whitening, microblading for eyebrows, and permanent makeup shenanigans. Well, he is greeted with nothing but contempt and ass pain.
Okay.
So he decides, you know what? I've seen enough here. I'm just gonna slowly back out of here to fight another day, and we won't have to have any sort of confrontation. Well, that is not what Bree wanted.
Immediately, she starts ducking, and she chases me out the door. I'm not kidding.
Even though she never said it in any of their texts back and forth, decides in that moment that if somebody cancels their teeth whitening appointment with her, they owe a minimum of $100 cancellation fee from the $200 whitening fee. And so Chief says, no, you didn't say it before. This is all just going really bad. I'm just going to leave. Have a nice day. And then that's when Bree pops up with her fantastic camcordering and her crazy mouth words. Now, like I said, we've all gone through bad dates, and this one was exceptionally horrible. And Chief breaks it down in a video of his entire experience. I'll link it below. And he even saves the receipts, all the text messages back and forth with them, showing how crazy Bree really is. But that doesn't even touch the tip of the iceberg of how crazy Bree is, because Bree is crazy. And before I go any further, I have Exhibit A to show you about the crazy.
Honestly, no, I'm not okay. My parents committed suicide when I was a minor, and it says that on my Mormon dating app.
What does that have to do with anything, Bree? What does that have to do with anything? What? Hey, are you okay? My parents killed themselves when I was a child. And it says that. She doesn't even blink. She's just so cockeyed, crazy-eyed, making the Highness, who want you to know. It says I want you to know. Crazy eyes. She's got crazy eyes. And I know the crazy eyes aren't a damning thing.
The YouTube music app can sense what you like from the moment you open the app.
But the tone, the sociopathic stare, the cockeyed, I'm still trying to be Instagram out. This is the scariest scene, and I've seen men detonate themselves in suicide vests on LiveLeak when I was 12 years old. For the entire time she talks, she just widens her eyes even more. Wow, she's talking. They're all crazy. Every single one of her videos are absolutely crazy like this. I just wanted you to get a taste of just the tone of her voice. The way everything is happening, this entire thing. You see her right here? Do you see this thing right here? Everything in this is screaming, I will cut off your dick and throw it into a field. Now, once Bree went to the internet and posted this ridiculous story, all filled with lies, throwing Chief under the bus, and then trying to, kill his business and Google review bomb it and go on Mormon dating app, Facebook, everything's on the social medias to try and get him in trouble. The Mormon dating app company contacted Chief and left him this message saying, hey, you get in for free now. We're so sorry.
I saw your video. We are so sorry that this happened to you. I just want to make sure you knew that this person is banned from school. Whenever you're ready to start dating again, let us know. We will set you up with a premium membership for life.
The owner of the company happens to be a veteran.
And he wanted me to tell you to remember to conduct your 5s and 25s to avoid the next landmine.
So that's the full internet blow up that we have at the moment. Oh, but we're doing a deep dive into crazy Bree here because the Chief walked away, I would say, scot-free out of this one, and it could have ended so much worse. So let's start the story that is Bree Summers. That's one of the names she uses. She uses multiple names. Not a red flag. Totally a red flag. Absolutely a red flag. Let's get into Bree and her very Bree background. Every story starts with childhood, and well, Bree didn't have a very good one. Mom died by suicide at 6, potentially. Dad died at 14, also potentially by suicide. Was given to her grandmother and then apparently awarded to the state and was in foster care from her age of 14 until she graduated high school. Now, there isn't much to know about her in high school, but she did get a bill passed in Utah which allows foster kids to go to social events. She wanted to go to prom or some sort of cheer event that was out of state, and because of foster care and its limitations, she wasn't able to. But she talked to some Utah politicians and got the law changed so that kids that are in foster care can go out of state or overnight on some sort of field trip or school exercise or event. But the story changes immediately out of high school because here you'll see a young Bree on the Utah Dolls website where she is an escort. Wow. Right out of high school. turn it into an escort. Dang. That stinks. That definitely won't set you up for some psychological damage in the future. Now is perhaps here, and maybe later on in life, when Bree enrolls in numerous competitions to become the cover girl for Maxim magazine and a new star rising in New Zealand Playboy. I'm sure her time being an escort and trying to get involved in like the beauty and aesthetic career that is Maxim and Playboy, that she realized, hey, I'm an attractive person that can use that to manipulate people. Everybody around me's trying to manipulate me. Why don't I just play that game fair and square? So Bree's story so far is 18-year-old escort and then trying to get on Maxim and Playboy using her feminine wiles in order to create a career. I can only assume that that was probably not so great for her mental health and assisted in creating the Bree that is now. Since then, Bree has had 2 separate OnlyFans accounts. One posted back in 2020, which links no longer go to it, and one now that is currently up. I can only assume what's on that. I ain't buying it. No, thank you. But finding those OnlyFans pages was difficult enough because she makes an Instagram account for each business she's ever had and for every one of her split personalities, which is just whenever it gets blown up because she does something stupid, she creates a new one, but uses all the same photos and all the same videos every single time. There's literally over a dozen different Instagram, Twitter, Facebooks of Bree and her businesses. Her businesses! Let's talk about those businesses. You see, I'm not exactly sure how Bree can do teeth whitening in Utah. Both of her LLCs are expired. One died in 2022 and one is currently up as of, I think, June because she's failed to pay it. So Bree owns a business with 0 business licensing and she does teeth whitening, which, up until a point, you don't need a certificate for, but once you start using dental tools, you do. So is Bree using dental tools for a business of which she doesn't have an LLC for? Oh, and those are just 2 of her businesses, because of course Bree would get involved in multi-level marketing where she sold collagen. And one of the things that she says on her site, selling her collagen from this multi-level marketing thing, is that collagen cures cancer. And if you read the post about collagen curing cancer, it reads like some sort of crazy person trying to sell you something. It makes 0 sense. But let's get back to the business that the young warrant officer was trying to get involved with. Right, the teeth whitening. What goes on at the boutique that Bree is running? Well, there's permanent makeup, like doing your brows and like tattooing, small, micro, mini tattoos. I don't really know what the hell that is. And Utah says that you don't need a cosmetic license for any of those things. Okay, all right, whatever, do what you want to do, Utah. But the weird thing about that is that Bree says that she's a licensed cosmetologist and licensed in other things. But when I run her name through the different businesses and her businesses through the different businesses looking for the certificate, well, the cosmetology license doesn't exist. Why doesn't it exist? Oh, that's because she's a violent felon, and you can't get a cosmetology license if you're a violent felon. Because nobody would want some crazy psycho person with a tattoo gun just laying over somebody that's taking a nap as they're about to get their eyebrows done and having a big dick drawn on their forehead. Oh, and talking about not needing any sort of certificate or training in order to do the microblading and the permanent makeup accessory shenanigans that it's called, like PMAU or permanent makeup artist. It's like PMA, permanent makeup artist. Well, you don't need a license for it, right? Bree's selling licensing for it. Hey, come get this certificate for $550, and then you can practice this shit. You don't need the certificate. This is a fraudulent business. Bree's literally giving you a worthless piece of paper saying that you gave her $500 and you could do this shit that you don't need a certificate for. So we're scamming people? Is that what we're doing? That seems like a scam. Oh, speaking of scams, though, wouldn't you want to have a life coach from Bree? Bree the life coach, everybody. Bree the life coach. She's a life coach. For $3,500, Bree could be your life coach and teach you how to, swindle people out of $550 for a certificate that they don't need, that the state says is not necessary. Oh, let's learn business practices from her. Let's go to Google. Let's go look at her business. What's it rated? Oh, a lot of 5 stars. Oh, look, a complaint. Somebody says that they took down the 1-star rating. Oh, Well, that's weird. Why would you take down the 1-star rating? Oh, and if we go to the bottom of it, every single rating is the same 5 words. Professionalism. That doesn't seem like you spammed your own reviews on Google. Oh, but wait, I forgot. I already said that she was a felon. What do you mean she's been arrested, AC? Yes, she has. Boom! Would you look at that Excel spreadsheet? What's that? Aggravated assault? A felony? 3 separate occasions? What's that? Violating an order of protection in order to go like stalk or harass somebody numerous times? So not only is she out here just felony assaulting the crap out of people on multiple times, she's also violating orders of protection. People saying, I need a judge to tell Bree to get away from me, and Bree going, ha! Ew. Ha? Nah. And she's still out? She's still out wandering the streets, trying to take money and scam soldiers out of $100 for cancellation fees for teeth whitening. So let me break this down quickly. Here's Bree. 18-year-old escort. Up to the young 20s, she's trying to get in Maxim and Playboy to be a cover girl. Fails out of that. Comes back home and starts doing businesses and things. But what are these businesses? Well, they're kind of fraudulent and not real. Lying about college and, curing cancer. Letting all of her businesses expire. Trying to sell certificates of which you do not need a certificate. Trying to sell $3,500 life coaching advice when your whole life is a train wreck. Trying to put a soldier on blast because he didn't want to go on a date with you because you're obviously a fucking nutjob. Assaulting everybody and violating orders of protection. But the creme de la creme is that because of this whole thing, of course, this narcissist would play the victim. She started a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe is Chef's Kiss Delicious. Let me bring you to the GoFundMe for Bree Summers. Once again, written like a crazy person, and I'll read it out loud for you. This GoFundMe sounds as though it's a charitable organization raising money for a cause, but then falls completely on its face into shambles towards the middle and then the end when Bree starts talking in the first person. Empower foster kids and survivors with Brianna. $0 out of its $85,000 goal. I'm assuming the foster kids and survivors is just code for give me the money. But let's read on. Unity Crew Foundation is a nonprofit program. It's a mentorship program providing free education to adult foster kids and domestic violence victims or sex traffic victims. Oh, and there's a comment. We're just going to keep going with this run-on sentence? Cool. Unity Crew Foundation is not a 501c3, but Unity Crew could become a 501c3. What? So it starts off as a not-for-profit program, but then it's a mentorship program for free education to adult foster kids? Self-made Utah foster kid Brianna Powers. So you made yourself a Utah foster kid? Or, I get it. You created your own business. You're a self-made woman, and you happen to be a Utah foster kid Brianna Powers, who passed the normalcy law for foster kids at just 17 years old in the state of Utah, runs and coordinates this program. So here we go. It says, she, Brianna, she, talking in the third person. This is the business, saying that, this person works with us. She understands the needs of young women and men. That I've been through trauma. Uh-oh, did we just switch into the first person, Bree? She's also diagnosed with ADHD, so she's understanding of learning disabilities. Holy shit! I'm tired of people using ADD and ADHD as learning disability. It's not that bad. It is not that bad. Just the extremes, yes. But every fucking kid that's got ADHD is now like, I got a landing on my eye. No, you don't. You just fucking like to go outside and run around, and we're just gonna get that energy burned off out of you and just teach you a different way of learning. She brings perspective to the youth life as a young lady whom had her foster parents throw all of her stuff on the front lawn the moment she became a legal adult. She is self-made and has had to go through many hard trials so she could be able to share her experience with others and help others get through their hardships. Holy run-on sentences, Bree. What are we doing here? Obviously, you didn't further your education. That's okay. You don't need to further it in college, but you know what would have been great is if you paid attention in high school. Brianna has been struggling with suicide since she was a child when her parents passed. Yeah, she's here and she fights yes, Yeah, I gotta read it like Brie, because this is definitely great. Yeah, she's here and she fights every single day to make herself better, to make the world a better place for everybody. What kind of incoherent mind babble is that, Brie? Brie, here I am, telling you that you are a piece of... But there's time. You can change. You can flip this boat around. You're 26 years old, and you're fairly attractive. Get your frickin' self checked out. Get on some mental meds. Work and progress through your issues. And maybe you can be a normal person. Fingers crossed, but I'm not holding my breath. Best way to support the channel is to buy a shirt. Boom! Clean shaven and misbehaving, and we've got the new one of me moving sandbags. Army Sprunk. Alright. I have to put the Halloween shirt back up. It is Halloween time. October is just around the corner. Cheapest way to support the channel is leave a comment. Tell me your weird dating story. Tell me how crazy Brie is. I can't believe it. I want to hear your crazy dating stories. Do you have an ex like Brie? Are you married to a person like Brie? Are you Brie? Are you Brie? Let me know. All right. See you next time, weirdos. Welcome to the first edition of Angry Meme Review. I am your host, Angry Cops, and this is where I break down and react to some of the hysterical memes that you, my fantastic followers... But before I get started, first, you know this is going to be good if I have to say this. The views expressed on this page are any... Warning, images and video have been edited to censor and remove offensive material to include violent acts and injury. Well, I'm sure you've seen the memes, I know I have, and heard the news that Hezbollah is having a little bit of a communications issue right now.
Can you hear me now?
And the 1990s have called because the beepers that they got, yep, people are using beepers and pagers in Hezbollah. Well, they're getting a little hot. So hot that they're exploding in people's pants and hands and by their faces. And right now, the number of those injured are surpassing 2,800. So significant. But how did we get here? How do we get to this end result of this, I would say, largest successful clandestine operation against a terrorist organization? Well, don't worry, that's what you got me here for. Because in this video, we're going to break down what started this entire thing and the planning that went behind it, how it was put into effect, and some of this is going to be a little bit of hypothesizing because not all the information's come out yet. Then the actual operation in and of itself, where the kinetic actions were happening, the pows, the booms, the zings, the zangs. And then we'll all clean that up very nicely with the aftermath of what we're figuring out now, what this could mean in the future. And in case you skipped the disclaimer, yes, I might have made sure that this video is YouTube safe and took out all the gore and no blood and none of the negativity stuff that would make me demonetized, but there are going to be some implications. But before we get any further, first, a word from this video's sponsor, HelloFresh. HelloFresh is here to kickstart a cast.
Hey, is this you? Too many alerts, way too many tools. No.
Dates, or skip a week when you're not able to. My code, you know, the best place to start a story is kind of, well, Quentin Tarantino, where you know a little bit at the end, but then you go back to the beginning, and then you pass that part that you started at, and then you go even further into the story. What? Say what again? Say what again? But here we're going to start at the very beginning, okay? I'm talking 2022. You see, the leader of Hezbollah, this guy with the beard and the funny hat, he put out to his minions, his little subordinates in Hezbollah there, hey gang, listen, all of you need to get off the cell phones, throw them in a box, dig them in the dirt and bury them, because the Israelis are looking into stuff like that, all right, technology and things. We need to cut it out. Don't let them track us. And so everybody does. They move to a lower level technology that they thought would be somewhat impenetrable. The beeper. And that also evolved into using encrypted communications or encrypted radios. Those will come up later, trust me. And now this blast out to the masses, well, it wasn't exactly private, and the Israeli intelligence unit called Mossad, they've done some incredible things, and they're going to continue to do so. Well, they found out and decided they would start planning. All the way back to 2022, Mossad had already purchased a couple beepers and put a little bit of spicy powder in those things. Not talking about your booger sugar, I'm talking about the boom kind of powder. Gave it a couple trial runs. And honestly, looking back into a certain helicopter crash with an Iranian official, I'm wondering if a run-through wasn't already done. I did an angry meme review on it, but this guy ended up dying in a helicopter accident, and nobody really knows why. Well, there happens to be a pager, a beeper right there on the table right next to him. Wouldn't it be strange if a radio or beeper that had some high explosive in it were detonated while he was flying in a helicopter? It's kind of just a one-way flight down if something bad happens. Some would say that's foreshadowing.
And the business.
Get out of here, Count Dankula! Now that's what I like to call the planning stages, all right? We heard something happen, we got ready for it, we did a little test trial, potentially dry run, not so dry, on that Iranian guy. Now it's time to put this plan in action. Phase 2. Now after reading about 3 hours worth of articles, I found that this is the best concentrated version of how Israel put their plans into place. With Israel already knowing that Hezbollah is going to need a lot of beepers, they create 2 shell companies that somehow, and this is still unknown, interact with the Apollo Gold Beeper Company and its shipping center in Hungary, so that while in transport between these 2 places, the original creation and the transportation hub, they're able to take apart over 5,000 beepers that were ordered at a minimum, fill them up with a high explosive near the battery compartment, so when they hit their whoop, red button of uh-oh, it'll send off the signal, the individual will pick it up and look at it, and then it will detonate. Cacao! And as of right now, Apollo Gold and that Hungarian company, it's BAC something, are blaming each other and saying, we didn't do either one of these things, it had to be the other guy. I didn't do it. But what I find the most impressive is that the Hezbollah agents were actually delivered all of these intentionally faulty, booby-trapped beepers. And I don't know who ordered these beepers or their radios, but the radios that Hezbollah ordered are no longer manufactured. Red flag there. Let me break that down for you. The ICOM radios that the Hezbollah agents, provocateurs, dudes, whatever you want to call them, were using is an older model that ICOM doesn't make anymore and hasn't made for some time. So these were knockoff ICOMs that they must have bought in bulk from like some guy selling it on eBay. So for those of you having a difficult time grasping it, and you younger generations, imagine going on eBay and buying a brand new Pokemon Yellow Game Boy game, right? You know that that thing is a knockoff. It's for $5. If it was an original Pokemon Yellow game cartridge for a Game Boy, shit's like, I don't know, $500? I have no idea. I have no idea. But you get what I'm saying. You know it's a knockoff. How is this Hezbollah group guy, the quartermaster of Hezbollah, not going, ICOM radios, okay? They're like 20 years old, 15 years old. Oh, look, such great deal. They seem brand new. No red flags here. Cuckoo. You guys there? Pow! And you can pack enough explosives in a handheld radio to bring down a helicopter. I'm gonna keep saying it. I think that happened. So now that we have the amount of information put out by the head of Hezbollah, some board quartermaster ordering, and some ingenuity on behalf of the Israelis, we now have the perfect plan set up for Operation Beeper. Now let's get into the execution of the operation. Ooh, execution is probably a very appropriate word. Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. Random small explosions are happening all throughout Lebanon, injuring people. People's pants are exploding. People's backpacks are exploding. People are showing up to the hospital with their fingers gone, their faces bloody, chunks of their stomach removed, and their legs like bleeding profusely. What is going on? Well, Operation Beeper is well into effect. And everybody's beepers are going off, sending them a notification saying, hey, Hezbollah guy, somebody from Hezbollah wants to talk to you. And Hezbollah guy hears that beep, picks up the beeper, looks at the notification, cacao, hand, face, no longer an issue. They're but things of the past now. Problem solved, problem staying solved. And in the first day, the low numbers were saying 1,200 people were affected. That's just Wednesday. Because Thursday, the day after, a whole bunch of radios start blowing up all over the place. And like we've already seen, beepers, a little smaller. Handheld radios, a lot bigger. And you can put a lot more bang for your buck in them there handheld radios. And over the course of these 2 days, we're getting a whole bunch of videos. People shopping, putting the beeper down at a table while they're at the register and it, boom, blowing up. Which I think is one of the most important videos that you can see because it shows you the small amount of explosive inside that beeper and how effective it is. The amount of power stored in the explosive that's inside of that beeper is significant. And you see it in this security camera footage from the store when it detonates while it's sitting on top of the counter. But there's more. There's photos of a guy on a moped and his whole freaking side is blown up. Looks like somebody took a shotgun to his freaking butt cheek because half of that thing is missed. There are people in hospitals that are clogging up emergency rooms with fingers missing, hands all torn apart and degloved, faces smattered with freaking shrapnel and bloody. Only 12 people have lost their lives over the past 2 days, but that number could rise. Over 500 people have lost their eyesight, and oddly enough, they're taking a lot of them and putting them on a plane and sending them to Iran so they can get more medical treatment. I wonder why they're doing that. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. Iran funnels money into Hezbollah. It's like their own private, but not private. Do your own thing, like ghost hand of their military to go terrorize Israel and whoever else they want. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, radios and beepers aren't the only thing that's blowing up. No, there's a couple fingerprint devices, like fingerprint scanners to get into buildings, fingerprint locks. I don't know what you would call them, but anyway, finger scanning into buildings, these security measures have also detonated, and so have some solar panels. I really don't know what the hell's going on here with that, but this leads me to a bigger question that I think is super important. Was Israel, Mossad, I'm assuming, able to get information from those beepers? If you already have the technology inside the beeper to send a signal for it to detonate, could you not also have it forward the information that was sent originally to that beeper? So, head guy in charge of Hezbollah sends out the beeper message to his boy. He gets it down here, looks at it, says, Roger that, I'll do that. But simultaneously, it redirects a mirror image of whatever that Hezbollah agent guy got to Israel. So they can be like, oh, hey, they're having a meeting at the pizza shop again. Gosh, you know what? They really want to kill us, but their food is amazing, isn't it? Just seemed like a bunch of guys trying to have a good time. And what about those radios? Were they able to listen to them in real time and start determining where guys are, what missions are going to take place, where they're hiding missile locations, when they're going to get found so they can have their defenses up and ready?
This moron is giving me everything.
And what about the bioinformation in that fingerprint scanner locking Mabob security measurement, right? Before that thing exploded, what if it just took every single fingerprint and a photo of the person there and just confirmed, yep, this guy's a Hezbollah agent, oh, this guy's a Hezbollah agent, oh, this guy works for Hezbollah, and now they've got an entire catalog of people that thumbprint scanned into the building, identified them as Hezbollah agents. Hezbollah, you're in trouble. We're kind of already getting to the aftermath by talking about what information could have been shared or duplicated and sent to Israel from these beepers and handhelds and thumb scanning devices. So let's get right into the aftermath. The aftermath is that Israel has taken thousands of people out of a potential fight. The plan is brilliant. Hezbollah's buying these beepers so that only Hezbollah agents can talk to one another and intentionally not get tracked by Israel. So Israel messes with those beepers, which are then handed out to Hezbollah agents and Hezbollah agents only. Because guess who's getting the beep of, hey, go F up Israel? Hezbollah agents. So besides all the bio information that you get from thumb scanners and the information that could have been relayed back to Israel, everybody injured on the 18th and 19th of September in Lebanon from explosive injuries, you can just check in and see who was brought in that day from those explosive injuries and go, oh, Hezbollah agent, Hezbollah agent, Hezbollah agent. And now that person's got a name and a face on a watch list. Well, maybe not a face anymore because holy crap. Let's talk about how brilliant it is to have it in a beeper. What do you do when your phone rings? Oh, who just messaged me?
Can you hear me now? Good.
Right like that, in the face. A beeper goes off, You take it out of your pocket, you unclip it from your belt. Even if you don't bring it up fast enough, it's putting holes in people's stomachs and their legs, or ripping off their hands and fingers. And the best part is if they get it up in time to say, what? Shalom? Kaboom! It's taking out your eyesight. Like I said, an effective tool. Out of the 2,800 plus that are injured from these explosions, over 500 have lost their eyesight. Listen, you lose your eyesight, there's no way you're going to be in the game in a battle, which could potentially mean that there could be a military push into Lebanon or an attack or strategic against Hezbollah by Israel in the upcoming days. Do you remember how I said that Hezbollah is kind of a ghost hand of Iran? Iran funds Hezbollah to do their bidding, whatever they kind of want to do, as long as they want